Let's max out San Andreas with the best mods out there, and that means better graphics, improved physics, real cars, updated UI, and a ton of smart quality of life changes. First things first, Essentials. It's a bundle of must-have fixes so the game runs properly on modern PCs, including crash fixes, widescreen support, memory and streaming tweaks, input stability, all the boring stuff you absolutely need before adding anything else. Next on the list is Immersive San Andreas, which is easily one of the best graphics mods ever made for this game. I played the entire story with it, and it completely transforms the atmosphere. The lighting looks modern, the volumetric clouds are gorgeous, and there are tons of subtle details like vehicle raindrops and a realistic water shader. Then there's Rosa Evolved, which basically remasters the textures across the entire game. Roads, pavements, billboards, buildings, everything. It replaces every old low-res texture with high-quality ones while keeping the original style. So the game still feels like San Andreas, just sharper and more detailed. It's the perfect foundation to build on before adding any other mods. Next up, Project 2DFX, the fix for San Andreas' terrible draw distance. By default, vegetation and objects pop in right in front of you, but this mod completely changes that. It lets you customize the draw distance for trees, lights, and objects through a simple INE file. Now you can actually see lamppost coronas and the Los Santos skyline from way farther away. There are other similar mods out there, like proper fixes, but it's not compatible with ENB, so for now, I'm sticking with 2DFX. And while we're on the topic of vegetation, there are tons of options like Insanity or Project Oblivion, but I decided to go with Behind Space of Reality's 5 stars. The pack includes vegetation models straight from GTA 5, plus some made completely from scratch. No matter where you are on the map, everything looks much higher quality and blends in surprisingly well, especially when paired with the graphics mod. Next up is the 90s Atmosphere Vehicles Pack Reborn 3. It replaces every vehicle in the game with higher quality models that stay true to the originals, and that includes cars, bikes, trailers, trains, boats, helicopters, and planes. Everything fits the 90s setting perfectly, and all the tuning parts work without any issues. Even the wheels have been updated, so you can customize your cars however you want without anything looking out of place. And when you combine it with vehicle funks and model extras, the vehicles become even more advanced. You can use turn signals with Z and C buttons, toggle hazard lights with X, switch fog lights with J, and turn on long headlights with G. It's a simple addition, but it makes driving in San Andreas feel way more realistic. There are 3 problems with this pack though, and let's fix them one by one. First, the cutscene vehicles are still using the original low-quality models, which completely breaks immersion. Luckily, there's now a mod that converts all AVP cars into the cutscenes, so everything looks consistent no matter what's happening. The other 2 issues, wrong vehicle names and off-handling, can both be fixed with one mod, Improved Handling. It gives every car its proper name and completely reworks the driving physics. Acceleration, top speed, braking, and responsiveness are all rebalanced. Body roll is now realistic too. Off-road cars and sedans lean more in corners, while sports cars stay tight and stable. Braking distances are longer unless you pull the handbrake, and overall, every vehicle just drives better now. It's a huge improvement, and definitely worth checking out. But as good as all that looks, the vehicle sounds are still outdated, and that's where Sound Eyes and the Assetto Corsa Sound Pack come in. The Assetto Pack replaces vehicle engine sounds with high-quality samples, so cars finally sound powerful and realistic instead of like old arcade noise. But Sound Eyes takes things to a whole new level. It uses F-Mod, the same audio engine used in tons of modern AAA games, to completely rebuild San Andreas' sound system. It adds volumetric audio that reacts to the environment, so, for example, when you drive through a tunnel, your engine sound now echoes naturally. And that's not all. Sound Eyes also brings 3D ambient sounds across the entire map. You'll hear machinery in the oil fields, music and chatter around nightclubs, and factory noises near ocean docks and refineries. It's a massive overhaul that finally makes the world sound alive again. Next up is Urbanize, a mod that fills the entire map with life. It adds tons of pedestrians and objects across every region, making San Andreas feel way more active and populated. Now you'll see people hanging out on sidewalks, sitting on benches, parties happening on Santa Maria Beach, airport staff waiting for planes, and even crowds inside places like the 10 Green Bottles bar. You'll spot people fixing their cars on driveways, random gang groups spawning around the city, and just a lot more going on everywhere you look. Even from the very start of the game, the difference is instantly noticeable. We've replaced the cars, but the weapons are still outdated, so let's fix that. The next-gen remaster weapons pack replaces every weapon, item, and pickup in the game with high-quality, realistic models based on their real-life counterparts. Everything looks way sharper and more detailed, and it even comes with new weapon sounds like this. And back to the vehicles, there's a mod called Drive, and it adds some really cool features. First, it brings back the classic GTA 4 style car stealing animation. CJ breaks the window, then hotwires the car by connecting wires under the steering wheel. There are tons of smaller details too, like if the driver's window is open, CJ rests his arm on the door. There's a proper handbrake animation, and he even leans forward when braking hard. Next up is San Andreas-styled speedometer, which fits the game's UI perfectly, like it was always meant to be there. You can even hold F a bit longer when getting out to shut off the engine, just like in GTA 4. But yeah, the damage physics are still stuck in 2004, so let's fix that. Dynamic vehicle deformation is one of the best mods I've seen in years. Car crashes have never felt this satisfying in San Andreas. It's similar to GTA 4's system, but even more extreme. Collisions feel heavy, metal actually bends, and with a hard enough hit, you can literally crush half your car or see the wheels pop right off. In my recent video where I made GTA 5 closer to 6, a lot of you mentioned how much you liked the Fuel Reloaded mod. So here's something similar for San Andreas, but even better, Gasoline mod. It adds gas station blips all over the map, so you'll always know where to refuel, and it's fully compatible with the speedometer, so everything fits perfectly. Normally, you just drive up to a fuel pump to refuel, but there's also a cutscene that can play during the process, and I liked it so much that I forced it to always appear. When you're out in rural areas, CJ refuels the car himself. But in the city, a worker does it for you, which is a really nice detail. When the fuel level gets low, you'll hear a warning chime.
Your vehicle appears.
And once you run out completely, the engine just dies. Then there's the advanced nitro system, and just like the name suggests, it lets you fully control how you use nitro. You can choose exactly when to activate it, do a nitro purge by pressing the nitro button without accelerating, and even display a nitro bar next to the minimap, showing how much boost you've got left. It's simple but really effective, and it makes racing or just messing around the map a lot more fun. And to go along with the car crash mod, I also added the oil leaking mod. Simply put, when your car takes heavy damage, it can start leaking oil onto the ground. If that oil catches fire, for example from a Molotov, it'll ignite and eventually make the car explode, just like in GTA 5. Now let's fix those outdated effects, because that fire still looks terrible. For this, you'll need two mods, Enhanced Particle TXD and Next Gen Remaster Effects. Together, they completely overhaul things like fire, blood, explosions, muzzle flashes, and more. Everything looks way sharper and more realistic compared to the original game. And to make those effects feel even more complete, I added Exhaust Tweaker. It changes the color of exhaust smoke depending on the vehicle. So old rusty cars and diesel trucks produce thick black smoke, while regular cars have lighter gray exhaust. Then we have Sound of Worn brake pads, which adds that familiar squeaky noise when braking in older or cheaper cars. And additionally, there's air brake sound, which adds that typical sneeze sound when releasing the brakes on trucks and buses. Next is the Put Helmet mod, which does exactly what it says. When CJ gets on a motorcycle, he puts on a helmet with a proper animation, and when he gets off, he takes it off again. And still sticking with simple mods, there's Skid Blow. It makes tires explode after skidding for too long, just like in GTA 4 and 5. Then there's a mod called Music and Radio from Cars, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It adds ambient radio sounds coming from nearby vehicles, with 5 audio tracks from each station included by default, though you can add the full radio if you want. I think the base setup is enough though. It's not like every car is blasting music. It's rare and subtle, which feels realistic since not everyone drives around with the radio on full volume, though you can adjust that too. I'm pretty sure most of you know the San Andreas map by heart, but I've gotten used to the GPS systems from GTA 4 and 5. They make navigation so much easier. The perfect mod to bring that feature here is GPS Redux. It adds automatic navigation to mission markers and custom waypoints. And once you reach your destination, the marker disappears automatically, which is great since having it stuck on the map all the time can get annoying. You know that feeling when you want to save another car, but your garage is already full and the nearest house doesn't even have one? That's where Parking Save Garages comes in. It adds parking spots near safe houses without garages, letting you save your cars there just like in regular ones.
Yeah, I love skating.
Now the car dealer mod. There are plenty of dealership buildings around the map, but none of them actually work. Until now. This mod adds dealership blips across the map, each with its own interior and a unique set of cars for sale. After picking your vehicle, you can customize the color, license plate, and even add extras if the model supports them.
Hey there.
What's going on?
I hate slackers.
What's your problem? Get away from me.
And nope, we're not done with vehicles yet. Next is manual drive-by refixed. I have no idea why Rockstar decided to leave drive-bys out of normal gameplay and make them cheat only, but this mod finally fixes that. It lets you perform drive-bys in any vehicle, with any weapon you want, and honestly, it feels like something that should have been in the game from the start. Now let's revamp the gunplay a bit. First, there are 2 similar mods, weapon display on player and holster on the cops. Both are lightweight, but add a lot of realism. CJ's main weapon is now visible on his back, and cops have visible batons and holstered pistols on their belts. Next is the reload mod, which simply lets you reload by pressing R, just like in newer GTA games.
Lunch money.
And finally, advanced aiming zoom, which adds adjustable zoom while aiming and lets you switch shoulders by pressing Z or X. Now, to fix the stiff camera movement, there's camera effects. It adjusts the field of view dynamically when running, giving movement a more natural feel. The same effect applies when falling, with or without a parachute. Then there's GTA 5 Kill Effect, which adds that quick flash effect when you take down an NPC. And Stealth Kill Camera, which adds a smooth cinematic camera angle whenever you perform a stealth kill.
I'ma spend this on a good meal.
Next is Ragdoll Bullet Physics, which brings physics similar to Euphoria from GTA 5. It's not as advanced, but for San Andreas, it's still a massive improvement over the original system. And when you combine it with Kill Cam, you can really see those new physics in action. It triggers cinematic slow-motion shots when you take down an NPC, and sometimes even when CJ dies. It doesn't happen every time, so it doesn't get annoying. Now, one big issue with San Andreas is that gunfire leaves no visual impact on surfaces. Bullet Hole mod fixes that by adding proper bullet marks wherever you shoot. Walls, the ground, cars, glass, wood, and more, each with its own texture depending on the material. It's yet another essential mod for the game. Another issue is that when CJ switches weapons, they just instantly appear in his hands with no animation. And as you probably guessed, there's a fix for that too. Weapon change animation, which adds proper transition animations when changing weapons. When you get into a police chase, the radar doesn't really help much, so let's fix that as well. First, there's Wanted Radar Warning, which makes the minimap flash red and blue whenever you're being chased by the police. It doesn't show where the cops are, but that's where the next mod comes in, Cop and Threat Radar. It adds custom blips for nearby officers, police vehicles, helicopters, and even hostile pedestrians, so you always know what's coming your way. Police sirens in San Andreas are barely visible, and to fix that, there's the Cop Vehicle Coronas mod. It boosts the brightness and intensity of police lights, making them stand out way more during chases. It's not a huge visual overhaul, but it's a solid improvement over the original, and you can tweak the settings in the INI file however you like. Then we have the NPC tuning mod, which, just like the name suggests, makes some NPCs drive tuned cars. So even though San Andreas doesn't have a massive variety of vehicles, this keeps things fresh. You'll see the same car models appear in different versions, some nicely tuned, others completely riced out, which honestly feels pretty realistic. Next up is the Rear Lights mod, a simple addition that gives rear lights a glowing speed effect when they're on. It's similar to what you'd see in Need for Speed Carbon. Nothing major, but it looks great, so it definitely earned a spot on the list. We've already got Kill Cam installed, but there's a way to make shootouts even better: Cinematic Headshot. It adds a short, slow-motion cinematic effect whenever you land a headshot, so even if Kill Cam doesn't trigger, you still get a satisfying cinematic moment every time you nail one.
Got anything else?
Now, as a little break from the shootouts, let's check out enterable hidden interiors together with more radar icons. The second mod adds a bunch of new icons to the radar: markets, bars, hospitals, police stations, clubs, and more. And the first one lets you actually enter many places that were locked in the original game, like Ryder's crib, Sweet's house, Denise's place, and plenty of other interiors scattered around the map. And back to the shootouts, there are two great mods to make combat feel a bit more grounded: low-life animation and simple regeneration. They do exactly what the name suggests. When CJ's health gets low, he'll trigger an injury animation, but it won't last long, since simple regeneration slowly restores his health over time. It makes way more sense than running around forever with 1% of health. I have no idea why Rockstar limited graffiti only to covering rival gang tags, but there's a simple Clio mod called Tag Anywhere that fixes that, so now you can spray graffiti wherever you want. The next mod is called Car Wash, and it finally makes the previously useless car washes functional. There are 5 of them marked with blips on the map. Just drive in, press Y, pay $50, and your car comes out spotless. Now let's make taxis usable too. With the Taxi Ride mod, you can walk up to a taxi, press tab to enter as a passenger, pick your destination, and start the ride with the left mouse button. There are a few extra options. Press C for the interior camera, Shift to make the driver ignore traffic rules, and Y to skip the ride. Not gonna lie, the AI driver is completely clueless, so skipping the ride is usually the smarter move unless you've got a lot of patience. Then there's Hard Rain Remake, which makes pedestrians use umbrellas when it's raining. Not everyone will, cause cops and gang members usually don't, but it's a cool feature straight out of GTA 4, and it's nice to finally see it working in San Andreas. Next up is Hang Out with Story Characters, which lets you recruit main characters anytime you want. You can pick up Ryder, Sweet, or Smoke, and they'll tag along with you, helping out during police chases or gang wars. Another essential one, faster clothes changes. Everyone knows how painfully slow the wardrobe system is in San Andreas, with CJ walking in and out of the changing room every time. This mod removes that entirely. Clothes now change instantly, so you can swap outfits without all the waiting. Then there's the Clever Trams mod, which finally makes trams behave properly. They stop at red lights, and you can even enter and drive them yourself. The original radio selector feels pretty outdated, and I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten used to the one from GTA 5. So I've got that fixed with Void Radio Wheel, which adds a radio wheel similar to 5, but styled to match San Andreas.
Yes, I concur.
You like dancing in the dark? Don't stare way too long.
And the same goes for the weapon wheel, cause in the original game, it's hard to tell what weapons you actually have, and switching between them feels clunky. Void's weapon wheel fixes that with a clean GTA 5 style design that makes weapon selection much faster and easier to manage. Now let's enhance the map a bit, starting with the Wind Farm mod, which adds several wind turbines near Fort Carson. They look great, fit naturally into the environment, and even rotate with the wind. The Vinewood sign looks pretty good at night. It's illuminated a bit, but there's literally no physical source of light, which makes no sense. And this mod adds spotlight beams, which makes it a whole lot more realistic. Another iconic landmark is the Welcome to Las Venturas sign. It already looks decent with the rosa textures we installed earlier, but the enhanced sign mod makes it look way better. Now it closely resembles the real Las Vegas sign, with sharper details and brighter lighting that really make it stand out. The lighthouses in San Andreas have always looked strange without working spotlights, but there's a fix for that too. With the Lighthouse Spotlight mod, they finally have proper rotating beams, just like they should have had in the original game. The donuts at Tough Nut Donuts in the original game look terrible, blocky and angular. The Smuff Nut mod fixes that by replacing them with perfectly smooth, round models that finally look like actual donuts. The original Santa Maria Pier is pretty lifeless. The Ferris wheel doesn't move, and there's nothing going on. This mod completely changes that by adding an animated Ferris wheel and a working carousel with people riding it, plus background music straight from Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Did you know Rockstar originally planned way more streetlights in the countryside? The pre-lights were already generated, but for some reason they never made it into the final game. The missing lamppost fix restores over 300 lampposts across the map, so rural areas finally look properly lit at night. Now, let's make the map a little less rough with the mesh smooth packs. There are 2 of them, and they rework a lot of areas across Los Santos, smoothing out the roads and fixing those sharp, outdated edges.
What's up, chica? Excuse me. I'm not into hair.
There's also a separate mesh smooth desert section, which gives part of the desert a cleaner, more natural shape. It looks way better now. And while we're still in the desert, let's smooth out the Big Ear telescope as well. This upgraded model actually comes from the Definitive Edition, one of the few things Grove Street Games surprisingly did right. Then I installed breakable vending machines because why not? You can already buy a soda from them, but now you can also smash them if you want. The more breakable objects, the better. And now let's polish up the interface because it's still pretty outdated. There are 3 mods for that: Atmosphere Interface Pack, 4K Definitive Load Screens, and Mobile Font Fixes. The first 2 remaster the main menu, loading screens, and radar blips, while the last one improves the in-game fonts and subtitles during missions. Together, they make the UI look clean and modern without breaking the original style.
I'm hungry!
Oh, man.
And for anyone playing with a controller, there's G input. It adds full analog support, smoother camera control, and proper button prompts so you can drive and play just like in the newer GTA titles. Perfect for enjoying the game after all these mods.
I don't think that would be.
And just like that, we've got 89 mods that completely bring GTA San Andreas back to life. From graphics upgrades to quality of life scripts and all kinds of gameplay tweaks, I handpicked every one of them. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I knew most of these mods already, a few of them genuinely surprised me and are definitely staying in my setup. Not all of them are essential, but that's the best part of modding. Everyone can build their own unique version of the game. Let me know what you think, which ones you'd add or skip, and which mod surprised you the most. And for everyone who stuck around until the end, here's a little bonus. The 90th mod, GTA Mixed. It connects the maps of Vice City and Liberty City to San Andreas with fully drivable bridges, creating one massive world. The mod also brings over a ton of content from the older games, vehicles, interiors, and plenty more. But that's a story for another video. I'm showing it separately because it's not compatible with some of the other mods I used earlier, so I installed it in a separate game folder. But it's definitely a mod worth checking out if you love exploring, and San Andreas alone isn't enough anymore.